Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Q3 and 9 months FY24 earnings conference call of Kiri Industries Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star and 0 on your touch-tone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. At this time, I would like to hand the conference over to Ms. Purvangi Jain from Valorem Advisors. Thank you, and over to you, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome to you all. My name is Purvangi Jain from Valorem Advisors. We represent the investor relations of Kiri Industries Limited. On behalf of the company, I would like to thank you all for participating in the company's earnings conference call for the third quarter and 9 months ended of the financial year 2024. Before we begin, I would like to mention a short cautionary statement. Some of the statements made in today's earnings call may be forward-looking in nature. Such forward-looking statements are subject to risk and uncertainties, which could cause actual results to differ from those anticipated. Such statements are based on management's belief as well as assumptions made by and information currently available to the management. Audiences are cautioned not to place undue reliance on these forward-looking statements in making any investment decisions. The purpose of today's earnings conference call is purely to educate and bring awareness about the company's fundamental business and financial quarter under review. I would like to now introduce you to the management participating with us in the conference call. We have with us Mr. Manish Kiri, Chairman and Managing Director, Mr. Jayesh Hirani, Senior Manager, Accounts and Finance, and Mr. Suresh Gundalia, Company Secretary. I now request Mr. Manish Kiri to give us his opening remarks. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the earnings conference call for the third quarter and 9 months ended financial year 2024. I hope you are all keeping well and safe. Let me first brief you on the financial performance of the third quarter and 9 months ended financial year 2024, followed by the operational highlights. On a standalone basis, during quarter 3 FY24, Kiri attains sales revenue of 141 crore, which grew by 6% year-on-year basis and incurred an EBITDA loss of
Hello, sir. Sir, we lost your audio in between.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Please go ahead.
Right. Coming to 9 months ended numbers, the company attains standalone sales revenue of 434 crores, lower by approximately 3% year-on-year basis, and EBITDA loss of 53 crores against EBITDA loss of 94 crores in the same period of the last financial year. Net loss was 64 crores versus net loss of 108 crores in the same period of the last financial year. So there is a significant improvement from last year to the current year for the first 9 months. On a consolidated basis, quarter 3 FY24 revenue stood at 219 crores, which grew by 7% year-on-year basis, and EBITDA loss of 13 crores. Net loss for the quarter was about 29 crores on consolidated basis. Coming to 9 months ended numbers, the company
Hello, sir. Sir, we lost your audio. Can you hear me? Ladies and gentlemen, please stay connected while we reconnect the audio for the management. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a line for the management reconnected, so please go ahead.
Sorry, there was some technical hitch up while I was going through the consolidated numbers. Let me go through again. On a consolidated basis, quarter 3 FY24 revenue stood at 219 crore, which grew by about 7% year-on-year basis, with an EBITDA loss of around 13 crore. Net loss for the quarter was about 29 crore on consolidated basis. Coming to 9 months ended numbers, the company attains consolidated sales revenue of 677 crores, lower by about 6.4% year-on-year basis, and EBITDA loss of 21 crores against EBITDA loss of 33 crores in the same period of the last financial year. Net loss was 72 crores versus net loss of 87 crore in the same period of the last financial year. On the operational front, in consolidated statements, the share of profit of associates, which includes the share of profit of Dystar, which does not have any impact on the valuation of the stake of Kiri in Dystar. That's the reason when I briefly on the consolidated net profit, I didn't include Dystar in presenting you. The value of the Kiri stake in the Dystar is $603.8 million, determined by SICC, while its judgment dated 3rd March 2023. The major reason for negative EBITDA was higher legal costs, lower capacity utilization with conversion cost, not getting fully absorbed, and most importantly, not being able to pass on to the cost increases to the finished product sales prices, which again has been because of the sluggish demand. On a standalone basis, EBITDA margin is negative in quarter 3 on account of sluggish demand, flat material margins, contributing increasing higher legal cost. The financial performance has remained sensitive to dynamic global markets, and industry has been facing challenging times for quite some time. Industry experts are hopeful of rebound during the current calendar year, with positive outlook for the textile industry and expectations of stable crude prices. During the reporting quarter, the company received interim dividend of 8.2 crore from the joint venture company Longshan Kiri Industries Limited. A hearing for the alternate relief application, which was essentially the consequential order application, was held on January 24, 2024 and January 25, 2024 last month at Singapore International Commercial Court to give an effect to the order of the court made in SIC 4 dated 3rd July 2018, which ordered Sena International Capital Limited to purchase Kiri Industries Limited 37.57% shareholding in Dystar Global Holdings Private Limited based on the valuation, which has been adjusted as 603.8 million, which is the final purchase price by Singapore International Commercial Court in the judgment dated 3rd March 2023. This was the enforcement hearing. And after the enforcement hearing, the parties, the court reserved the judgment and will issue judgment as soon as it is available. In case of examination of judgment debtors for recovery of cost by SICC, and Singapore Supreme Court to the company, hearing for examination of Mr. Ruan Wei Shang and Ms. Fan Jing is fixed by court on 9 July 2024. With that, I would like to now open the floor for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin with the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Thank you. We take our first question from the line of Kalpesh from KIFS Capital. Please go ahead, sir.
Hello. Good evening, sir. I want to know what's happening in the Daistar stake sale and how much time it will take another for recovery amount in 24th and 26th January. Is there some direction from Supreme Court?
Supreme Court completed the enforcement hearing, and now decisions from the court and order is awaited. Just to give you a little more highlights, the arguments took place on 5 broader issues, the 5 broader points that Kiri had included in the prayers in its application. First one was to sell Daistar, to put Daistar for an auction, and by selling Daistar, use the proceeds of the fund to comply with the legal order. Number 2, appoint a receiver to sell the company, to sell Daistar. Number 3, Kiri should be getting its 603.8 million dollar plus unpaid legal costs and plus interest if interest is awarded by the court. Then number 4, the interest cost. So there were arguments heard by the court from all sides to award interest to Kiri. And Kiri had demanded interest from 3rd April 2024, which we considered 1 month statutory period for the recovery of the execution of the order from 3rd July 2024. And number 5, to transfer part of the excess cash to Kiri. The discussions and the deliberations took place between $100 million, which was the amount Senda prepared to declare as a dividend, as an excess cash, to $282 million, which Kiri demanded, showing the excess cash in Daistar to the extent of $282 million. So these are the broad 5 prayers on which arguments have taken place. We don't know exactly when the judgment would come. We are expecting the decision on these 5 points should come sooner rather than later. And we are expecting an oral judgment or a summary judgment in a short time, in a week's time, which may be followed by the written judgment explaining the grounds of decision. Again, this is expectation from Kiri based on what transpired. But the judgment can come anywhere from 1 month to 4 months, as we have seen in past. So let's see when and how fast the judgment comes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. The next question is from the line of Bhavesh Chauhan from IDBI Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, sir. Sir, we have recently incorporated a subsidiary in Singapore. I would like to know what was the purpose for the same?
I think the purpose for the subsidiary was the multiple, because there was not any Singapore company that Kiri had. And now we are approaching towards finality of this long litigation, and we are expecting funds to come as soon as court starts the recovery process post this enforcement hearing. We are preparing a subsidiary there which may be useful either for the receipt of the funds or for the use of the funds, and also for future investment activities.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Sir, just one more. Hello, sir, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can
Yes,
you
sir,
hear
we
me?
lost you in between. Yes, sir, please go ahead.
Right. Sorry. So the subsidiary is being formed for various objectives, for the investment for the future funds, for the receipt of the funds, for also the the activities that we may want to do on investment side in future, from Singapore. So that's the reason that the subsidiary is being formed there.
Okay. And sir, now that we are near the final, as you say that nearing the completion of the case, is it likely that our legal cost will no longer exist after maybe a quarter or so?
Yes, the legal cost.
Hello?
Hello, management, sir. Can you hear me? So just allow me a moment. I'll just check.
Maybe there are problems in your line. I don't know what is happening, but I am able to hear. Seems the participants are not able to hear me.
Sir, we are losing the audio in between, sir. You may go ahead, sir. We can hear you now.
You can hear me now? Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear. Please go ahead.
Yes. Yes, as you very rightly mentioned that after a quarter or so, the legal cost which is being incurred right now will substantially reduce.
Okay, sir. Sir, thanks a lot and all the best. Hello, no further questions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We take the next question from the line of Mr. Burram Shetty Suresh from Burram Financial Services. Please go ahead, sir.
Good evening, sir. Manisha.
Good evening, Puram bhai, please.
Sir, I'm Suresh from Nellore, sir. Remember me, sir, I'm last participation already.
Yes, you participate and you, I perfectly remember you. Thank you. Sorry. Yes, Suresh bhai, please go ahead.
Sir, actually, January 24th, some case judgment last conference call you told. But judgment is not received, sir, January 24th.
So January 24 to 26 was the hearing. It was the oral hearing during which the arguments have taken place. Okay.
Okay.
So all parties made their oral arguments and oral submissions on 24 to 26, which actually lasted only for 2 days, 24 and 25. 26 was not there because it got concluded on 25th evening.
Okay.
So
Hello? 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 Hello?
Yes, sir.
Madam, I am no audio. So, madam.
Suresh, sir, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Suresh, sir, can you hear us?
Madam, hear me, madam, but no audio.
Can you hear the management line?
I can hear you, but maybe my voice is not clear.
No, sir, I can hear you loud and clear. I think Burram sir has some issue with the audio.
Present hear me, madam. Present voice is clear. Management
sir,
also.
Management, sir, please go ahead.
Right. So what I was mentioning is that 24 and 25th was the enforcement hearing, and during these 2 days, the enforcement oral arguments got concluded. The judgment was reserved, and we are now waiting for the decision from the court. So as soon as the decision is obtained, as soon as the decision is announced on all 5 points which I mentioned earlier, will immediately disclose. Will immediately inform all of you.
How much time takes it? The reserved judgment is coming.
I think somewhere between 1 month to 4 months. That is what we are expecting currently. I hope it comes earlier. So starting from maybe March to June, July, any day it can come.
Oral judgment is weekly. You earlier mentioned oral judgment will come week before 1 or 2. What
Actually,
judgment?
if court decides to give oral judgment, which is like a summary judgment of a short, judgment, before giving detailed grounds of decisions, then it can come in a few weeks' time. Okay, if court decides to do so, which was our request to the court. So if that request is accepted, if court considers that request, then in the next 2-3 weeks' time, we can expect judgment can come from the court.
Sir, in the front of Daistar, actually, is no debit in the company? Any debits in the company? Hello?
Sorry, I don't understand your question. What is in the company?
Sir, actually, Daistar, in the front of Daistar, his cash reserves is there in the company?
Yeah, the huge cash in the company. As per the submission in 2023, by Daistar, there was $446 million of cash in the company, which was submitted in a sworn-in affidavit by the CFO of the company. It had almost about $600 million of net current assets and close to $1.2 billion of retained earnings without any borrowings or loans. So there's a huge reserve in the company, and there is quite a lot of cash. And now financial year 2023 ended for Daistar, more cash has been added as we speak. So by end of this quarter, cash would be even higher.
Sir, actually, you can ask the court, the huge cash is available in Daistar. You have asked the money is stopped. Actually, he is not clear the case. You can ask the cash reserves in Kiri side also. Pay the cash. You can understand, sir. I know a little bit English. So, actually, you can submit the court. Cash reserves is there. You can.
Court is aware. Court has all the details of Daistar. Court is very well aware how much is cash, what are the Daistar numbers. All are in the court submissions. And that is why court is deliberating, and court has heard the arguments from Kiri as well as from them to make partial payment to transfer part of excess cash of Daistar to Kiri. That is before the court to decide, which is already there in the submission, which was there in the oral arguments, and it is now up to court to decide that number and to decide whether to give the order to transfer part of Daistar cash to Kiri. So all these decisions will come in the order.
Hello, Mr. Suresh. Are you done with the question, sir? Hello? As there is no response from the current questionnaire, we move on to the next question from the line of Mr. V.P. Rajesh from Banyan Capital. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Manishi, congratulations on the improving financial results in this quarter, and looks like we have hit the bottom. So I was just curious, do you think in fiscal year 25, we could expect profitable company in terms of EBITDA on a standalone basis?
Yes, absolutely. Even I am expecting this quarter, January to March, to be EBITDA positive, and of course, year 2024-25 to be profitable. Even in this quarter, enough emphasis has been put on to ensure that we turn into cash positive and EBITDA positive in the running quarter.
Great. My next question was, what is our net debt situation at the end of the quarter, December quarter?
At the end of the quarter, net cash, we are running actually as a negative, right? So that is the reason if you study the working capital cycle, the payables and some of the extension on the number of days payable which you would see, right? So good thing is that we have got some relaxation on timeline for the payment to the legal counsel, because of there's been many years till now. So there is some relaxation in terms of the credit that we are able to get from the Singapore Council. To that extent, it helps us from cash point of view, and not from the profit point of view.
No, understood. I was just trying to understand what was the debt outstanding on our balance sheet as of
debt outstanding.
Yeah.
Debt outstanding is 115 crore, 115.
115. And I assume we don't have much cash against that, right? Most of the cash.
Not much cash against that. Correct. I mean, not much cash against that. Correct. But 115 crore is the debt outstanding, which is borrowing on the company as on today.
Right. And my next question was on the dividend side. You mentioned that the joint venture paid us some dividends. So that was kind of a surprise. So can you just elaborate as to what happened? Why did they decide now to pay that 8 crore plus amount?
Just to give you a brief highlight, there were also a kind of lot of arguments went on at the board level at Longshan Kiri also, because Kiri has been pressing hard and trying to convince the other side, which is the same shareholder who is at Daisar, to actually give dividend from Longshan Kiri. And there are no new capex. There is lot of pile of cash at Longshan Kiri. No new projects that is been expected. Also zero debt company. And it is more than justifiable to give dividend. So the total dividend declared by, and considered by the majority of the board was 20 crore. In fact, our demand was more than 100 crore dividend to be declared. Right? Because the cash that is more than 300 crore. Right? So it was very much justifying, but denying Kiri's request. You can imagine that the same shareholder and the same majority directors are sitting at Longshan Kiri, and I think by compulsion, or maybe just to show a good grace, they declared a very small tiny dividend there compared to the retained earnings and the cash that we have at Longshan Kiri.
Understood. And then on the court case, we won the lawsuit last year, and my understanding was that the process will move very fast to recover the money from Daistar or the JV partner rather. Why has it taken so long to get to the court to come to this particular hearing that you just talked about last month? And why will it take so long for them to then come out, and then how long will it take further from there to get it implemented?
Right. So let me just explain you the rationale and the process that we went through since March 2023, since we got the final decree, the final order. Now, you can understand that the court as well as Kiri, we both can expect that the sender, the defendant, would honor the court order. Correct? So that was the assumption, having cash at Longshan level, having cash at Daistar level. Correct? The general expectations and hopefulness from all sides that sender would in fact honor the court order, and there were no evidences which were accepted by the court or presented by sender that they would not have financial means to honor the order, because you can see that the Longshan, they are a public company sitting on $1.4 billion of cash, while Daistar is sitting $500 million of cash. looking at those cash positions with the other side, it was not actually imaginable that they would not honor the order. So we believe that it was a willful and intentional dishonoring of the order. Let me put it this way. So from March onwards, when we realized by June, July, that on the other side, not enough efforts are being made, Senda is trying to drag their feet, not giving us convincing answer, we approached the court in July, August 2023, praying court that, see, this guy, we don't believe, we don't trust that would honor the order, so we need to have enforcement on the order. Okay. So enforcement proceedings, in fact, started from August 2023. So court said that, fair enough, we understand Kiri's position, and court actually granted us leave to file the enforcement documents, to file the alternate relief application, which Kiri did in 2023 August. Then court set a timeline. Okay, court set a timeline for them to file a response, for us to file rebuttal, for the dates for expert opinions to be filed, dates from our side for the expert opinions to be filed, then the skeletal arguments to be filed, legal submissions to be filed, the closing submissions to be filed, and the hearing to be done on this enforcement trial. So that went from August till January, which all pre-decided dates. And let me tell you this, Singapore court didn't change the hearing date at all. What they decided from August till January to be completed within 5 months, they did it. Okay. There were attempts made in between to delay the process. Court didn't do it. Court stick to the date which they had given, and they completed the enforcement hearing. So from August till January was a court process to start enforcement and to start recovery by giving the enforcement orders. So we are now at a stage where the hearing got completed. We are waiting the enforcement orders to start the recovery process.
That's very helpful, Manishi. But my question is, even if, let's say, the enforcement order comes about, as you said, in 1 to 4 months, then what will be the path forward to actually get money in your bank account?
So let us say the first expectation from our side would be to get a partial cash from Dystar to Kiri. So somewhere in the range from 100 million to 200 million, whatever court decides as an amount to be given to Kiri immediately to relieve Kiri from its financial hardship and to have some kind of justice and relief given to Kiri by transfer of partial excess cash to Kiri. So if that happens, that would be the first one as soon as the order is out, if that happens, correct? So that's the first tranche of money that Kiri is expecting, right? Now, after that, when the company is sold, when the receiver is appointed, the receiver will start the process. And two names of receiver from Kiri have gone in as a recommendation. 2 names of the receiver from Senda have also gone into court as a recommendation. So court can decide one of these 4 candidates as the receiver to sell the company, or court has discretion to appoint a 5th one from the list of the court approved receivers, liquidators, or administrators, whoever you say. So once court appoint a receiver, based on the current timelines and the average timelines indicated by the receivers is from 9 months to 12 months.
I see. So
the company.
Hello, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Rajesh. May we request you to join the question queue, sir, as we have several participants waiting for the turn. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to ensure that the management is able to address questions from all the participants in the conference, please limit your question to 2 per participant. Should you have a follow-up question, we request you to rejoin the question queue. Ladies and gentlemen, you're requested to limit your question to 2 per participant. The next question is from the line of Amarchand Goyal, an individual investor. Please go ahead, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Amar bhai, please.
Hi. Thank you so much for that. And I can see there's a light at the end of the tunnel. But there are. I want to figure out what is their Senda's argument in the court. Like what are the points that they are keeping stick to, and what are their arguments are. And so would you throw some light where they're coming from?
Yeah, sure.
Arguments are.
Sure. Senda's argument, were such that, they said that they don't have money. They have money at Longshan level. They have money at Daistar level. But Senda, which is a holding company, doesn't have cash. It tried to raise some cash. Banks didn't give money to Senda. And that is the reason that they have been not able to comply with the legal order. Correct? So then the only option left to sell the company, their arguments that the sell process is to be handled by the investment banker or the advisor, and the sell process is to be handled and controlled by Daistar board. Kiri's arguments that the sell process is to be controlled, managed, and run by the receiver. So then only the sell process of Daistar can be transparent, efficient, and can be under the control of the court, right? Not under the control of Daistar board. So that was Kiri's argument against it. Kiri argued in the court that we should get full 604 million plus legal costs plus interest if interest is awarded from the sale proceed of Daistar, and then whatever left is to be given to them. They argued that the sale proceeds to be divided in the ratio of 40-60 in the ratio of the shareholdings of both the shareholders. That was their argument. Kiri argued that the interest is to be awarded to Kiri. They argued that interest is not to be awarded to Kiri. Okay. Kiri argued that Kiri must get some injection of funds in the form of immediate relief by transferring excess cash of Daistar to Kiri, part of excess cash to Kiri. For that purpose, I think Senda was also okay to transfer to Kiri, and there was differences in the amount. Okay, Kiri argued that the excess cash in Daistar is 282 million. Daistar argued that the excess cash in Daistar is 139 million that can be punched out of Daistar. And Senda's argument was that 100 million is an excess cash in Daistar which can be dividended off. Correct? So the common number which all three parties were in line or were in agreement with is 100 million excess cash in Daistar minimum. That was last.
So we should be able to get at least 100 million in the next few weeks. Once the final.
Exactly. That's the expectation. That one number which is common number in agreement by all three parties. At least that number should be given to Kiri to relieve Kiri from its financial hardship for almost more than now 9 years. Kiri has been fighting this legal case.
So are we going to get the other legal costs? The one we won 50 crores that they didn't honor last time.
Yeah, it is what we are going to get, which would be added to our receivable to what we receive from the sale proceeds, and not only that, we are going to get that with interest, because interest is already running on the legal cost. Interest has already been awarded on the legal cost. So the number which was 8.11 million Singapore dollar according to our calculation, which is now must be 10 million plus Singapore dollar.
Right. And we should get that alongside with 100 million, that the first tranche that we get the money.
Yeah. So let us say our number of 604 million plus legal cost. I'm giving you the rough estimation, 10 million, say 615. And if interest is awarded, another 40-50 million interest. So if the number is 670 million, let's say, as a total receivables which Kiri has from Senda, then if we are given any interim, any excess cash transfer in between 100 million, then 100 would be deducted from 670. You see what I mean? Then our receivable will be 570. See? So whatever is our total number, and whatever amount Kiri is receiving would be deducted from that, and interest naturally should not be applicable on that amount from the date it is received to Kiri.
Interest from 2018.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Goyal. So may we request you to join the question queue?
The interest would be from April 2023, which is 1 month post the final judgment. So Kiri's demand and the arguments were made by Kiri to award interest from April 2023. Let us say about for a year till April 2020.
Sure. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please limit your question to 2 per participant. If you have a follow-up question, you may join the question queue. The next question is from the line of Manoj Pura from Adinath Financial Services Private Limited. Please go ahead.
Manish ji, good evening.
Good evening, Manoj ji. कैसे आप?
एकदम बढ़िया सर, एकदम बढ़िया, फर्स्ट क्लास. तो ये कोर्ट की जो कार्रवाई हुई है, तो उसमें one thing is sure, the other party is not willing to pay.
Yes.
Am I right, sir?
You are right. Other party doesn't have intention to pay. It is not about ability to pay. They have ability to pay. And the financials of other party clearly indicates that there is definitely ability to pay, but there is no intention to pay. You are right.
Yes. It means now it is more or less decided that the company will go for auction.
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure that is the decision.
That is the decision. It will be, because the other party is not willing to pay. They have already suggested the name of liquidators or those persons. It means they are ready to forgo Daystar.
And there is no point in waiting. Correct?
Right.
Evidences do not suggest that by giving more time, they would be able to comply the orders.
Then what is the current valuation of Daystar?
Whatever is the current valuation of Daystar.
What is your estimate of the current valuation of Daystar? At what price can Daystar be sold?
Daystar, if you look at the, even the last year's 2022 audit.
My question related, because if the valuation, say, if our shareholding is 38%, if the valuation which it can fetch in the market is more than $615 million, then we will be getting more than that. Or if it is less, will we be getting less than that?
No. Let me be very clear with you. Daystar's value today, whatever it is, it is sold at 2 billion, or if it is sold at 1 billion, or if it is sold at 3 billion. Whatever value Daystar can be sold at, Kiri is only entitled to receive 604 million plus legal cost plus interest if interest is awarded. That is the only thing Kiri can receive, irrespective of what Daystar value is.
Even if the value received is less than, if the value received is, say, $1 billion,
right?
Then also we will be getting that number.
Yes, we'll be getting that number, because that is the number. That is the crystallized liability. That is the number which is to be paid to us irrespective of Daystar value today. our number is based on the die-star value of 2018, July 2018.
Agreed, sir, but the other party has also requested to the court that the sale proceed be distributed in the ratio of shareholding.
Exactly. So this is our side of the argument,
right,
and their side of the argument is proportionate. So the order will have this decision from the court. So when we receive the order from the court, it would be clear who would get how much, whether we are right or they are right. It would be written in the judgment when the order comes.
Then my understanding is that at least minimum $100 million we will be receiving as soon as the court order is out. At least 100 million, which can go up to 260 million, which was our request. Right? 282, which was our request. It will be in between 100 million to 282 million.
Yes, correct.
And the balance on the out of the sale proceeds, which may take 9 to 12 months.
That is right.
That is right. What is the probability of getting 282 million?
Well, 282 probability is less, 100 probability is very high.
100 probability is almost sure or very high, just probability, or it is a certainty?
No, it's very high probability. I cannot predict the judgment. I cannot forecast the judgment before court takes a decision.
No, because you told me everybody is in agreement on that number.
Yeah, so everyone is agree on that number. So at least that number is extremely high probability for court to decide.
Yeah, that should come if the court passes the judgment, say within February. Then can we get in this financial year that amount?
Yes, that is what our target is.
Because that amount is absolutely ready.
Correct. So if court decides, let us say by end of Feb or beginning of March, our aim and the target is to have at least that amount before the end of financial year for Kiri.
Sir, a question more hai. If the valuation is mouth-watering die-star valuation, can we go for the acquisition of die-star?
No. We are this is not what our objective is. Our objective is to get the funds. Whatever due to us, we take.
Okay. Thank you, Manish ji. आपको बहुत बहुत बधाई हो और आगे आपका पैसा जल्दी से जल्दी आए. Thank you.
Thank you, Manoj ji, for participating. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The next question is from the line of Dipanshu Khetri from Khetri and Company. Please go ahead, sir.
Yes, good evening, sir. Congratulations on the improved set of numbers. Just a couple of questions. Thank you. So, just a couple of questions on the execution proceedings when the judgment comes out. Is this, as per Singaporean law, the final judgment, or is this an appealable judgment because they don't intend to pay? So they may want to drag on by further appealing against this. So does it attain finality upon the judgment coming?
That's a very good question what you have asked, and very relevant question. This is the enforcement judgment, and this enforcement judgment can be appealable judgment, but enforcement judgment in Singapore history is not the judgment that can be stayed. There is no precedence that such judgment is stayed even though appeal is made. Correct? So that means the execution of the judgment will be instant and immediate, irrespective of the right to appeal by the other party.
Okay, that's great to know, sir. And the second question is, sir, that...
Right, go ahead.
Yes, sir, the second question is, you mentioned about the Singapore unit being created for this purpose. Is the court aware of this, or will something like this be encompassed in the judgment? Because technically this will be a separate legal entity. So
no. It has nothing to do with the court, right? Whatever funds we receive in Singapore through the proceeds of die-star sale, or even before that, within 90 days that fund will come to India to comply with our regulation. Correct?
Right.
And that is once it comes to India, then with RBI's permissions, it would be then transferred for the investment purpose, for business operation purpose to Kiri subsidiary, but first it has to hit India.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Thank you. Those were my two questions. Looking forward, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The next question is from the line of Ashwini, an individual investor. Please go ahead with your question.
Hello, Manishi.
Yes, Ashwini, please.
Yeah. So, as you said that Sanda has also given names to appoint the receiver, then should it be assumed that they are also willing to let Dystar go into liquidation? I mean, because Dystar is having $100 million of average PAT. So
Yeah.
why are they allowing it to go into liquidation only because they are not willing to pay $600 million? I mean, this doesn't make
it's a crazy. It's not what your question is the correct question. It is nonsensical. It is not understandable that if the cash in the company is almost 500 million plus increasing, why they want this company to go under auction. By the way, it is not a liquidation. It is en bloc sale by receiver. Okay. So it is sale of the company as a going concern because it's not a illiquid company. It's not insolvent company. It's a solvent company, profit-making company, cash-generating company, zero-debt company. So court made a right decision to sell company as a going concern. And independentness, transparency, and effectiveness is maintained by appointing a receiver. But it's an auction of the company. Now, why they are letting this go? Even though they can pay entire 600 million from the Dystar cash, they don't have to pay anything. And Kiri was prepared to give permission. Kiri submitted to the court also. If Kiri had been asked to use this cash to comply buyout order, Kiri would have done it. The only reason I can explain why they are doing it, because they think that they don't want to pay Kiri 604 million, right? And that is why they don't want to comply the order. That's it. Nothing else. No logical, no rational, and it is difficult to understand. What you said is correct, and that is why we all were hoping that they would actually comply the order.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they are trying their luck, and they are trying their luck. Well, if company is being sold and if court gives in their favor to split as per 40/60, they think that they can sell this company, and they try to have some associate company, some related company, some French company, okay, at a lower price and give Kiri less than 604. So whole game from their side, what I can suspect is to give Kiri lesser than 604. So that is what they are trying to do probably. That's what I can think.
Yeah, okay. And you were earlier telling about the valuation in your mind of Dystar, but I guess there was some another question is between. So according to you, what's the fair valuation of Dystar?
If you ask me, last year's Dystar EBITDA was 166 million. That is after that taking out all kinds of fees. Okay. And it was a reported EBITDA of 166 million. Now, this year's EBITDA, no doubt the whole market is down this year, but it's a temporary. Next year could again be a better year. So if you look at the steady state EBITDA and proven track record for 10 years, it's minimum $150 million of EBITDA. Correct? Now, even if you estimate on 150 million, you are much better valuer than what I can imagine, but at least 10 PE would get you $1.5 billion plus cash in the company. By half of this year or end of this year, it would be $600 million of cash, or let us say current $500 million cash. Even if you add 500 million to 1.5 billion, it comes to $2 billion.
Wow. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll take the next question from the line of Dilip Shiv Prakash, an individual investor. Please go ahead, sir.
Hello.
Yes, Shiv Prakash, please.
Sir, I just wanted to know, is there further scope of the delay tactics from Senda? Because you were saying that it can be challenged in an appeals court.
Right.
So they can exercise their right and go to appeal court, to the Supreme Court, and file an appeal. But we have been advised by our counsel, and we have seen the precedences, that there is no stay on the execution. So if the court decision comes, sell the company, appoint a receiver, transfer cash to Kiri, it cannot be stopped. So enforcement execution for recovery, is to go on. It is not going to stop. So we don't see any further delay. And Singapore court this time, as well as, we found it quite strict, quite efficient, and quite reliable, if you ask me. They completed within the time frame of 5 months what they decided, what they mentioned, what they confirmed. And they executed very fast. So I admire the way enforcement hearing took place. And I'm sure that they will do justice and not allow any other delay tactics to cause delay to serve the justice. I don't think they would entertain any such delays.
Okay. Sir, but logically speaking, if they are not going to stay the order and if they can still go on an appeal, वो logically बैठता नहीं है ना sir?
नहीं, वो क्या है कि it becomes a paper appeal, correct? If you have to understand that the order has been passed, not honored. Enforcement court, it is not court's happiness to do enforcement. Court had to get involved in enforcement because the other party has not complied with the order, correct? So enforcement proceeding was not an open court proceedings. It was a chambers proceeding. It was in the chamber of the judges. Even though we were there in the courtroom, it was not an open court. Correct?
Okay.
Then, so when you decide at that point that the defendant has failed to comply, has dishonored the judgment, you have made the consequential order to recovery, to execute the recovery. That recovery cannot be stopped or should not be stopped. Precedences show that Singapore court was quite strict in executing enforcement judgment. You are now executing the enforcement judgment, not the final decree judgment. There's a difference there.
Okay. Fine, sir. Thank you so much.
Right. So
Jai Shri Ram, wishing you all the best.
One can go to appeal, it's their right, they can do it, right? But then it doesn't stop the recovery.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir. The next question is from the line of Arshad, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Manish sir, good evening.
Good evening.
Pardon, since I'm traveling, you might hear disturbance. My question is regarding your recent MOU that you did for green hydrogen.
Right.
And we have a subsidiary called Kiri Renewable Energy.
Correct.
So my question is that are we, looking to invest a part proceed into renewable space? Are we looking that sector?
We are looking at that sector. We are looking at several sectors. Again, we have not crystallized where we will invest, but it is also a very important sector, and it is a sector we are seriously looking at. Correct.
Okay, that's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We take the next question from the line of Shreyash, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. My question is, in one of the earlier questions you had answered that this quarter Kiri could be a bit positive. So do you see that the industry, the dyes and pigment industry that was going through such a severe downturn, do you think that the durable bottom has formed, and do you see, FY25, 26 being much better from what it was earlier?
I believe so, exactly. So I believe that we have bottomed out, and now the improvement and the recovery phase has slowly started. I think so.
Okay. That's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question for the day. I would now like to hand the conference over to the management for closing comments.
I thank you, all of you, for participating in today's earnings call. I'll see you all next quarter. All the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you.